Welcome everybody, Evan McDaniel here, Fit Studios again. Today we're going to talk about cardiovascular exercise, some do's and don'ts, some things that are better than others to make sure that you're getting the absolute result that you want. That's the most important takeaway from this, is there's not one good or bad. It's the fact that one side's going to definitely give you the bigger bang for your buck, another side's going to give you a totally different result. So, getting into it, there's two totally different types of cardiovascular exercise. We have to make sure that you're choosing the right one to facilitate the change that you want. So, the typical exercise program that everybody follows is called steady state exercise. It's the point where you go for like a 5-mile run, or you jump on the elliptical and you just kind of pedal away, or a bicycle, and you do it for an extended period of time at the same intensity level. So you kind of warm up and then you maintain that intensity level for however long. Generally, it's about 30 plus minutes of any type of cardiovascular exercise, whether it's running, jogging, whatever it might be. So, increase the intensity to start with, get warmed up, and then you maintain that so it's a steady state of intensity for the whole duration. The other side of that is interval training, or high intensity interval training. And there's a lot of information out about this today, and I'm going to simplify this completely to make sure that you know exactly what I want you to do. HIIT is not doing mountain climbers or push-ups. HIIT is a cardiovascular exercise like running. You can even do it in a pool if you need to, swimming, things like that. What this is the workout's going to look more like really hard interval, a rest interval, hard interval, rest interval, and we're going to shorten that time frame down 10 to 15 minutes. Generally, I want this done post-exercise. It saves you a lot of time that way. So after strength training, then we're going to do our cardio, just to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck here. Now, why the difference? Why the difference in these two? It all starts from excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, okay? This is basically how we increase our metabolic rate. I like to simplify this and just call it afterburn, okay? What happens is after this 10 to 15 minutes post-strength training cardio, where you're working really hard and resting, working really hard and resting, what will happen is you're going to increase that metabolic rate 12 to 14 hours. It means your body is burning fat for 12 to 14 hours after you finish this workout, okay? And that's really important, because after these types of workouts, basically you're going to burn a lot of calories. You might burn 400 plus calories in that half an hour, which is good, but what happens is when we're done exercising, we're almost to 0 minutes of this afterburn, of that epoch, okay? And this is really important because over here, we're going to burn less calories. You might burn 150, maybe 200 calories, but the remaining fat that's being burned 12 to 14 hours is how we facilitate a fat loss, which is we're losing the right type of weight. We're not just burning a ton of calories and then decreasing our calorie intake there. So, that being said, this one is not bad and this one is not good. This is going to facilitate a much longer term change because we're facilitating fat loss without having to do anything, which is key. It also saves you on time. My whole entire philosophy here is that exercise has to be efficient. If it's not efficient, you're just wasting time away from your family, from whatever you want to do. So efficiency, that's the only reason. This one isn't bad, this one is not good, this one is just less efficient. It's great for health purposes, it's great for getting rid of stress. Every health thing is a positive, but this is going to increase your cardiovascular output a whole lot faster. So the room for growth with this, you're going to get in a lot better shape a lot quicker than you are just kind of jumping on that elliptical and just pedaling away for an hour at a time, which is really important because you're going to get in better shape, you're going to save a lot of time, you're going to feel better, yada, yada, yada. So the specifics of the HIIT that I want to see, it all boils down to how long we're working and how long we're resting. I see people do this in a very incorrect fashion. So it all boils down to a work to rest ratio. Ideally, we want to be working twice as much as we're resting, okay? So if you think about this, you're going to be running really fast for 1 minute, and then you're going to be resting for only 30 seconds. Now, think about that for a second. This is going to suck really bad. This is going to be really, really hard because with cardiovascular, with any exercise actually, as the intensity goes up, the duration has to come down. That's an inverse relationship. It happens every time. If you're working really hard, you're not going to be able to do it for very long. If it's relatively easy and you can maintain it for a long time, so the intensity comes down, the duration can go up. So we have to make sure that we're working hard enough to facilitate a change in 10 to 15 minutes. You should be just about done working. You shouldn't be able to keep going past that 10 to 15 minute barrier, okay? So this is kind of the ideal range that I want to see happen. A lot of times people do this at about a 1 to 6 ratio. So they're going to run for 10 or 15 seconds, and then they're going to rest for a couple minutes. So we want to make sure that we're switching this up, shortening the time frame down, increasing the work to rest ratio, and sticking kind of in this realm, and then you're going to notice a big change. You're going to burn a lot more fat, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to get in really good cardiovascular shape really quickly. Ideally, we're only going to be doing this 2 to 4 days a week because the intensity is high. Now, a little bit about the intensity level, okay? I'm going to use running as an example just because it's the easiest. I have 3 different levels of what I consider running, okay? There's sprinting, or about 100% max effort, okay? Then, right below that would be running, okay? We're talking 75, maybe 80% max speed. This is all out. And then there's jogging, okay? Which is gonna be, 50, maybe 60%. This would be jogging, this would be running and sprinting. So there's a big difference between these 3. Now, that being said, there's no definitive pace for this. Your pace is the most important. If jogging is the absolute hardest thing you can do, and you can only do that for a minute or 2 minutes, that technically would be your workload. That would be up here. And maybe walking would be right below this, okay? That's completely fine because your speed is your speed. You can't compare it to somebody else. You don't have to be Usain Bolt over here if you can't hardly walk and jog. If you're new to this, walking and jogging might be the place to start, okay? So, it's okay. There's no definitive speed that you need to be doing this. If you're thinking, oh, I can't sprint, it's okay. Walking and jogging, if that's really hard, and 10 to 15 minutes gets you out of breath and challenges you cardiovascularly and your muscles and legs are tired, that's going to be your work to rest ratio. It's going to be this walking and jogging. If you're pretty cardiovascularly fit and you can do this already and you've tried this a little bit, you might be in this running and sprinting category where you're running a lot faster and resting. That's completely fine. This is completely personal, but this is far more efficient than this. It's not better, it's just more efficient. So, did I cover it all? Okay, I think that's just about it. If you have any questions, you can always email me, evan@fitstudios.net. And I just really want to stress, steady state exercise is great for health, great for getting rid of stress. It's great for burning calories. It's good for social times where you can go for a jog for a couple hours with some friends, talk it out, have some fun. This is just a more efficient way at getting fat off of your body, getting in better cardiovascular shape to then make this type of stuff easier. So, have any questions, shoot me an email. You can watch some other videos I shot on the complete nutrition 101, fat loss versus weight loss, that kind of touches on this just a little bit. Yeah, get out and do some cardio. Thank you.